All right, today we're talking about a pretty radical shift in how we create software. We're moving past just using AI as a helper tool and jumping into a whole new paradigm, the A-native pipeline. Some people are even calling it the AI factory. Let's dive in.
So I want you to start with this question. Just think about it for a second. For decades, our CI/CD pipelines have really only done one thing: ship code reliably. But what if that pipeline was actually intelligent? What if it could learn, adapt, and literally improve the very software it was built to deploy? That's the core idea we're going to unpack. Okay, so let's get into the big vision here. This is not about just, slapping an AI code generator onto your current workflow and calling it a day. No, we're talking about architecting an entire factory with AI at its absolute core. It's a total rethink of how we produce software. And that means we need a fundamental change in perspective. The goal isn't just to produce lines of code anymore. The real goal is to build this integrated, intelligent system that owns the entire process, from that first spark of an idea all the way to what's happening live in production. So, what does this machine, this factory, actually look like? Well, the best way to picture it is as a super sophisticated, fully automated assembly line. It's got these distinct stages, and each one is powered by AI, all working together to turn a concept into a real working product.
Let's walk through this assembly line. Step 1. AI code generation. You feed it a high-level spec, and boom, the AI just generates everything. The application code, the database schemas, the API contracts, the whole shebang. But, code by itself isn't enough, right? So that brings us to step 2, AI test generation. The system automatically cooks up a massive suite of tests to make sure that code is correct, it's fast, and it's secure. Only when it passes all those checks does it get to the final stage, automated deployment.
And this quote just nails why that second step is so incredibly important. In a world where machines are writing the code, we can't just cross our fingers and hope it's right. Automated, AI-generated testing, it's not an add-on. It's the absolute core quality control that makes this whole factory reliable.
So this brings us to a really critical distinction. A lot of us are already using AI tools, in a way we'd call AI-assisted. But this AI factory, it's something different. It's truly AI native. Let's break down what that actually means. So over on the left, you've got AI assisted. Think about GitHub Copilot or tools like it. They help us out, for sure, but the human is still driving the car, where responsible accountability is on us. But on the right, AI native, that's a whole different ballgame. Most of the actual work is now being done by autonomous agents. And our role? Well, it completely changes from being a laborer to being a supervisor who oversees the entire system. So what's the tech that makes these autonomous agents tick? It's called Agentic AI, and this isn't just a simple chatbot. An agentic system combines those big foundation models with things like persistent memory and, this is the key part, reflective planning. It can take a really complex goal, break it down into smaller steps, go do them, learn from what happened, and then adapt its plan. All of this with very little input from a human. This is the engine that powers the AI native factory. Now, this is where it gets really mind-blowing. This AI factory doesn't just pump out software at the same quality level over and over. It has this incredible built-in quality control loop that lets it learn and actually get better with every single cycle. And it does this with something called a checkers style optimization engine. Think of it like this. Its whole job is to watch how the code is performing out in the real world in production and then automatically figure out ways to make it better, faster, more efficient, maybe cheaper to run. And it does all this while constantly running the tests to make sure it doesn't break anything. It's basically continuous automated R&D built right into your pipeline. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi idea. You can put this kind of engine to work right now and see huge returns. The best places to start? Look at the hot paths in your code, the stuff that runs a million times a day, or services that are costing you a ton in infrastructure, or, of course, any performance bottlenecks that your users are actually feeling. The wins here can be absolutely massive, and they can be immediate. Okay, so if the machine is generating, testing, and even improving the code all by itself, that raises a pretty big question, right? What is our role in all of this? What's the new job description for an engineer? Let's just tackle this one head on. With a system this smart and this autonomous, what is there for us to do? Are we being automated out of a job? Well, the short answer is no, but the job itself is changing in a really fundamental way.
So here's what the new role really looks like. We become the supervisors. We set the rules for the factory. We are the ones who define the boundaries of trust. For instance, we decide which kinds of AI changes are totally safe and can be auto-merged, which ones need a quick once-over from a human, and which changes are so critical that they need a sign-off from a real domain expert. See, it's about judgment, not about typing code.
The bottom line is this. Our role shifts from the manual labor of coding to the strategic oversight of this incredibly intelligent system. We stop being the bottleneck in the process. Instead, our involvement becomes this high-value collaboration with the AI, where we guide its strategy and we make sure that what it's building actually aligns with our bigger goals. So let's bring it all home. Why would you go through all the trouble of building this incredibly complex machine? Because in the age of AI, this machine, this factory, becomes your single greatest, most durable competitive advantage.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Pretty soon, anyone and everyone is going to be able to generate code with AI. That's just going to be the baseline. The real, lasting advantage isn't going to come from generating code a little faster. It's going to come from having a superior machine that can continuously test, deploy, and most importantly, optimize that code better than anyone else.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. As engineers, as builders, we spend our lives building machines. The big question for all of us over the next decade is this. Are you ready to take that next step and build the machine that builds the machine?